The Padres make a new trade. We've got to talk about the latest move as Poway native Connor Joe is sent to the Reds for some interesting opportunities. Let's call them that. Let's talk about everything on this episode of Padres Digest. What's going on, everyone? I'm Christian Pedersen, welcoming you back to another episode where I, just a random guy on the internet, try to help you all emotionally through another Padres season. It has ups, it has downs, it has things like this, where a minor leaguer for minor leaguer in cash move seems maybe innocuous, but I think is a step in the right direction. Connor Joe, obviously a San Diegan and somebody that we really all loved and appreciated being on the team in terms of it's always good to have kids from the hometown coming back to play for the Padres, but 0 for 9 on the major league season and not hitting incredibly better at the minor league level for Connor Joe. So it seems like the Padres finally said it was time to move on. We'll show you the details of the deal again. Sent to the Reds for Andrew Moore and cash considerations. So let's talk about what this means. What this means Connor Joe-wise, as we tie a bow on his career and send him off with a happy trails, the Padres didn't dish anything here. This is, in my opinion, and I am, like I said, just a random dude on the internet, so you can always hop in the comment section and tell me where I am wrong, or if you do agree with me, it's much appreciated. But Connor Joe being jettisoned is kind of a non-factor in terms, like, it's not taking anything away from the Padres, which I think is a good thing when you start to see guys who in the offseason you had sort of circled in the general area of, like, they will be a utility guy. We could use him in left. We could use him at second, third, short, catcher, pitcher, whatever it was. Connor Joe was kind of just viewed as like a nice little step in the right direction of the Padres having depth. The fact that the Padres brought him up, gave him a shot, he didn't work out, that's always one reason to just move on from a guy, but also having depth be no longer such an issue that the Padres have to scrape so deep into the depths of our minor league system that we have to just be okay with 0 for 9 Connor Joe being our first baseman because of injuries and all. Like, I've said it on a couple of our other videos. This is why I always say hit the subscribe button so you kind of can weave together the fabric of what's going on this season from all our episodes. But the Padres at multiple times this year have had some bad overlapping injuries, and I think they kind of bottomed out potentially in the 2 weeks that was the Detroit and Tampa and some of those series without everybody, and that's when Connor Joe was up and getting his opportunities, and we've moved on. We've got guys healthy. There's a bunch of dudes coming back. You can check out all the videos that we have on them, and now we're able to start making moves again, no longer on the dependency of needing a ton of just pieces to fill in because we are walking wounded. So the Padres getting healthy, they jettison a piece that ultimately, like I said, is not going to be the end of the world to lose. Let's talk about what the Padres get in return. Andrew Moore and cash considerations. Cash considerations I will never say no to. I think cash considerations is very vague. It's sort of just an X variable that's kind of undefined in the realm of, like, what does cash do for us? But cash, every dollar of cash that I think we can accumulate as an organization right now goes just into the general Michael King, Dylan Cease, sign our pitchers fund. And I know that some of you are going to be like, what is $250,000 going to do? What is $86,000? What is $4.18? Man, if I was the guy from South Park saying, can I have Tree Fitty? Like, that's me right now. I need every dime I can to throw at our pitchers this offseason to build up the long-term stability and health of a new generation of King, Cease, Pivetta, those kinds of guys. And not that we have to sign Pivetta long-term, but just you get what I'm saying. We want to hold on to some of the pieces that we have. So here's what we get, though, player-wise. This is his minor league career numbers. He is a he's a piece. He's a dude. He's a guy. Maybe a guy, not a dude. I don't know what that hierarchy I'm trying to invent is in my mind, but I think that this ultimately, though, is a nice piece to add because pitching, as we have seen, is always at a premium, but pitching is something that the Padres seem to every season, by the end of the season, we have our dudes, we have our guys, we have our back end of the bullpen, and then they just have not fully been able to figure out that front end sort of who's the guys that we use on the longer days, the guys who, when we have games like up in Colorado where it seemed innocuous and easy to get through. We just need to send somebody out there to burn some innings. And like, this is what Andrew Moore could potentially be for the Padres. I think that he is somebody, if you look at some of the more in-depth analytics, I don't know how much any of you particularly specifically subscribe to anything. This is his 2025 preseason rankings report for overall who he was in the Reds organization. They're 22 overall ranked prospects. I don't want to shade. I don't want any of you to hear this as I'm shading this guy. I'm just saying that like we didn't pick up somebody in return who's going to come in and be like another closer or another Jeremiah Estrada or another dog who's going to be like unhittable. He's a guy that has had some moments that are good, some moments that are bad in his minor league career. And he's somebody that, like I said, I think will ultimately contribute to the Padres. And I think will contribute this year, next year, for however long we hold on to him. He will be somebody who, it wouldn't surprise me if he cycles up and down and has a couple of trips this season, a couple of trips next season. But I think he could be a nice little piece in that he knows how to throw strikes. He's got decent velocity, and he just fits into give him Ruben Niebla and time. And I think you can only expect him to get better. And from what you've seen already, or what we've seen already in the minors and those preseason scouting reports of his fastball, his command, his curveball, like, if all of that just gets us skosh better with Ruben Niebla, he becomes a perfect 5th inning, 6th inning, 7th inning on a day where the game is already kind of decided in one other way. Just a guy who can eat innings and be reliable and be a perfect piece for 27 to 43 innings. And that's oddly specific, but it's just kind of like, you get what I'm saying. The Padres have added depth. It is a good net positive trade, I think, for the Friars, but I'm curious what you think of it. Let me know in the comments section. Do you like this? Do you hate that we got rid of Connor Joe? Do you think that cash considerations are the main thing that the Padres got out of this? I'm always curious to know what all of you guys think. I think, though, like I said, this one, to me, comes across as just another great move in that it's a net positive. Padres didn't really give up anything, and there will be both short and long-term benefits from this. A lot of great stuff, though, coming out for the rest of the season. If you guys could hit the subscribe button, it would be much, much appreciated. As you saw, we've also brought in a second host now to do post-game reactions. So we are trying to bring you both stories and live stuff, updating you all things Padres all season long. If you could hit the subscribe button, if you could leave a comment, if you could leave a like, if you could send a share, it would all be much appreciated. Until next time, keep the faith, Padres fans. 2025 just keeps on getting better and better for us.